What's up, everyone? How everyone is feeling today? Welcome back to another live stream. I'm happy to be back, to another live stream after yesterday. Such a successful live stream, I feel like. We talk about testing, we talk about a lot of things, and it was a fun live stream yesterday. So today I want to kind of, have a similar live stream, still talk about testing, but we go a little bit deeper on some topics today, okay? That being said, I'm feeling super good today. I had pretty much a very good day work. A lot of stuff done in Laravel Cloud, so it was fun. Yep. Hello everyone on the chat. Duka10, welcome to the stream once again. Adrian, welcome to the stream. Jonas, welcome to the stream. Ricardo, welcome to the stream as well. And yeah, folks, today this will be the continuation from yesterday. Yesterday we talked about testing, and I kind of want to, keep the momentum going. And I feel like we should probably get started with that. Talk a little bit about what we have done yesterday. So today we can give a little bit of follow-up into that. So yeah, before we start, if you don't know me, my name is Nuno Maduro. I'm a Laravel PHP developer, and I work with everything in between. And I am live currently on YouTube. So if you're watching me there, give me a follow and please give me a like over there. And I'm also on Twitch. So if you watch me on Twitch, give me a follow there as well. You might want to support financially my work. If you do, just give me a subscribe on Twitch. And all the money I get from that will be basically, reinvested on the stream, basically. That being said, today we are with some ADM music, not the typical hip-hop music you are used to listen. So I think it'll be more fun. By the way, we have a Discord channel, so if you want to basically talk with me during the day, you can go to our Discord channel, which is basically, a place we talk every day, which is below. Pick and Flow, welcome to the stream, dude. Nice to see you. Goofball Guinness, welcome to the stream as well. Adrian is asking me, what is the A below the cursor? I have no idea. Oh, I think it's my keyboard layout. Which for some reason, yeah, it's gone. ADO, welcome to the stream, dude. Nice to see you here. All right, folks. Yesterday, we went actually, I think we made very good progress yesterday. So we started basically a new Laravel project, and we obviously finished with 100% test coverage, which is kind of the thing you want to, especially when you are starting a serious project. So here we have 100% test coverage in all the files we have. And we made some progress basically creating the domain of the app. So if I go, for example, to migrations, I can already see a couple of migrations here. And we are building a job board. So as such, we need the table offers, we need, the person who created the job offer, we need the title, we need the description, we need the status of the job, if it's draft, achieved, all those cool things. And we also have the published at and achieved at, which will be useful when we change the status of the offer. So we made progress on this. We made progress as well on the users table. We have now two full models in Laravel, one for the offer, the other one for the user, and we have these two models fully tested as well. So if I go here to this offer test, I can clearly see that everything has been fully tested. Every time I'm creating a fresh new offer, I expect the published to be an instance of a date time. So we have all the casts in place. We have all the hidden fields in place. Everything is in the perfect order. So we made good progress, basically on, I would say, three things. We made progress on the database migrations, okay? And we made progress on models as well. And we made a huge progress on testing. Because we are developing with TDD, we cannot basically move faster because we need to keep the pace with testing. And we want to make sure that once we deliver this platform, which hopefully will be today, we are up to 100%. So I think that will be fun. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jonas is saying, always remember the fresh. That's right, dude. You always want to call the fresh method at the end of the factory call. That's something I always do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ed Milson, happy Wednesday for you as well. And I forgot to ask, by the way, I want to know, chat, like, how was your day today? Are you guys having a fun week? Is everything going fine for you? Today's already Wednesday, so the week is moving fast. Had a couple of meetings today, but my day was also, you know, a very good day, a happy day. I had a meal with my family as well, with my parents, so that was cool. And, you know, then I had a very productive afternoon, and now just back, you know, back to live stream, which I think will be fun. Adrian is saying, can you run a helper code in your fuzzy find so you can have proper autocomplete? I don't know what exactly that thing does, but if it does what I think it does, basically just have a bunch of documentation. I would rather to avoid it, to just focus the stream only on testing, if you don't mind. Ricardo is asking me, what is the reason of the fresh at the end? So the reason is the following. I don't know if this test will fail, but I'm going to remove the fresh real quick. I feel that I've answered this question already like 3 bazillion times, but you can see that I removed the fresh method and now my test suite is failing. But if I keep it, now my test suite is passing. So there is a real reason behind it. And the reason is because if you do this, Laravel is not getting to you a fresh instance coming from the database. You know what I mean? So you are literally creating an offer on the database, but the instance you work with is the one that you just created, which typically it's not the one that people are going to actually have in your application. So typically what I do is just call the fresh all the time. So I'm making sure I have a fresh instance coming from the database. So that's something that I always do in my Laravel apps. Yes, sir. Oh, and Wilson is going on PTO on Friday until next year. That's cool, dude. Actually, I'm also going on vacations next Friday. So after that, I will be back to work on the 2 January. At least back to work on Laravel, you know. I plan to keep going on streaming, to be honest. So I think that will be fun. DK Dev is saying that I was so deep in my code that I skipped my lunch break without noticing. Well, that could be okay, but you want to be careful to not, you know, not to burn out sometimes. Something I always do is make sure that I don't work more than I should have, because basically then your brain activity just goes too fast when I'm going to bed. You know what I mean? So I want to kind of go slow with me. You know, working 7-8 hours a day, do my live stream, and then just basically shut down my brain with some video games, being with my wife, just chilling a little bit, you know. Leah Code is saying, my week is going good so far. I have been decently productive for me. That's cool to hear. That's cool to hear. And by the way, Shad, if you don't know Leah T Codes, she's also a streamer on Twitch. So you might want to give her a follow, because she also is streaming, you know, a lot of our content, and she's a very good streamer overall. Dharma was saying, good, nice joining you today. Yeah, welcome to the stream, dude. Nice to see you. John is saying, you look more energetic today. Great to see. Yeah, man, like, as a person who streams every day, something I already noticed, like, immediately is that some days I'm just more fresh than others. I think that is, like, undeniably true, you know what I mean? So some days I will be just more energetic, other days I will be more relaxed, other days I will be more chilling. I don't know, man. Maybe some days I will not even talk. So, you know, that will just happen, and we have to live with it, you know what I mean? So Raisin NN TV is saying, TDD offer without and with the fresh to see the difference. So I can explain you the difference. So if I do create without the fresh, basically the order of the fields won't be the same, because basically the instance is created, then the ID is added to the end of the array. And I can show you that right here in my test suite. So as you can see, if I don't have the fresh, which is the case right now, the very first field on my toArray method is actually a user ID. And the ID is literally the last one. So this doesn't give me the exactly order I have on my database. So what I do is just use the fresh, and I make sure that I have always a fresh instance coming from the database. Yes, sir. Christian, welcome to the stream. Laser, welcome to the stream as well. Leah, thanks for the shout out. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, folks, let's get started. Let's put some, you know, some code into this stuff. And something I noticed yesterday is that our enumeration, while it does 100% test coverage, I feel like we didn't actually have a test to it. And something I always do is test my enums. So if I go to my list of coverage, basically at the moment, I can see that my offer status have actually 100%, but this is because our factories are using this enum. So something I want to do is something that I always do, which is going to my enum folder and create a new folder with the name enums. And again, everything under the unit folder, you want to kind of apply the same app structure you have. So, you know, at the moment, as you can see here in our app structure, we have models, and we have obviously each model being tested. And now we have an enum, as you may have known from yesterday. So this is called an offer status, and I'm going to create a test for this. So I'm going to go here into my enums folder and also, you know, create a test for this deal. Now, a test that I always create for my enums, because they eventually will end up being using on the front end, is to test the label of this stuff. So typically my enums always have, they will have a bunch of methods, because methods on enums are so powerful, like literally so powerful. Now I'm using them literally all the time now in Laravel, just literally put a bunch of methods on my enums. Because you can literally do stuff like this, you know, like offer status, get me the draft status, label, for example, which is insanely powerful. So something I will do here is literally just create a method that will determine the label of my current enum. So I always do this because I just know that this stuff will end up being used on my front end. So we obviously have the draft value for the draft key, the shared for the shared key. They are kind of the same, but that doesn't always happen, you know? You know, because this might actually be just public, for example, you know what I mean? Mario SF346, thank you so much for your subscription on Twitch. I really appreciate it, man. All the money I'm getting from Twitch basically being reinvested on the live stream to make it better. All right, so we now have a label method, which we know that we are going to end up using somewhere. What we can do here is just literally have a test for this. So I'm going to go into my enums. And typically what I do is that I don't actually test the value of that label. I like to write something that always goes like this. All cases have a label, basically. Okay. And then I typically just do this. What I do actually, well, I do this. Collect all the cases. And for each one of those cases, which will be an offer status, I basically expect the label to be a string. This will work. And I feel we should be good actually. And we are. We have 100% test coverage, and this method in particular is being tested. So potentially, you know, typically that should not happen, by the way. That should not happen with PHP Stan. But in case you don't use PHP Stan, just check how powerful this test can be. I'm going to go to my offer status, and I'm going to remove, for example, one label right here. And suddenly I have a test failing, just saying that we have an unhandled match case, which is the shared one. And this is happening because we now are testing that each one of those cases have a label. So this is like how powerful this test can be. A simple test, 3 lines, and you are literally testing like that every single match case have a label, which is, I think, it's very powerful. Jonas is asking, is this cache-like stuff? I'm not sure what you mean, by the way. Adrian is saying, well, you could use the equal canonicalizing to ignore the order of the array. The thing is that I don't want to ignore the order of the array, and I can explain you why. So Adrian is saying that basically on my offer test, I could potentially, instead of just trying to match the exact order, I could potentially use the 2 equal to canonicizing, which is kind of the same of the previous thing we had, but now we don't ensure the order. So I'm going to explain you why I don't like this. The reason is because potentially, if I'm adding a new database field to my, let's say to my offers table, I kind of want my column to be in the correct order, you know? So potentially if I'm adding here something that looks like, not a description, but maybe something like a resume or whatever, I want to make sure that I add this field literally after the description. So if I were to have a new migration that literally adds this column, I would be required to acknowledge on my offer test that that field comes after the status, for example. You know what I mean? And I've been saved by this stuff a bunch of times because I literally forget to put the after column on my migration. So it's super powerful. AMake PT is saying, the audio today is more electronic. Yeah, let me know if you like it. You know, I'm a vibes person. Like, I'm always changing my vibe. Sometimes I'm like E-pop old school. Sometimes I'm like, you know, rock from the 2000s. Sometimes like, you know, electronic or whatever. But yeah. Oh, Jonas is talking about the fresh. Got you, dude. No worries. Filament vibes. I want to do a live stream about Filament, by the way. Okay, so if you go to my Discord channel right now, you will see that basically we have a place where we basically have all the ideas for streams, and you can go there and upvote. In one of the most requested streams is Filament, actually. So we might do a stream on Filament. And I haven't actually used Filament that much, only on Pinkery a little bit. So I think it'll be funny to me to discover some of the Filament magic. Because I know the project is good. Everyone says that, so. Good evening, Metro. Welcome to the stream. Yes, Filament. We're going to see some Filament here. I think it'll be funny, man. Yes, sir. Leon Code is saying, I would love a Filament stream. Yeah, I guess me too, you know. I've used Filament on Pinkery, but I've kind of installed it only, and then one of the core members of Pinkery actually I've used it a little bit. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. By the way, if you're watching me on YouTube, everyone, give me a like over there. I've been noticing that we actually, you know, last stream, for example, we went to 100 concurrent viewers average on YouTube, and I didn't finish with 100 likes. So if you're watching me on YouTube, give me a like there, please, all right? Thank you so much. DK Dev is saying, I don't know enough words to express my love for Filament. That's true, dude. Everyone says good stuff about Filament. Leon Code is saying, I'm about to have to use Filament for work. I think you're lucky because everyone says good stuff about Filament, so you should be chilling. All right, folks, let's move forward. So we have a passing test suite, hopefully. Now I want to move to actions a little bit because I think it's the next logical step. All right, so typically what you want to do with actions is actually keep, you know, the business logic or the most critical business logic operations on there. So you want to actually test those heavily and make sure that all the use cases are actually being fully tested, okay? So as a reminder, what we have discussed at last stream is that you obviously have a unit folder, which will contain literally a mapping of one-to-one to every single file you have in your application, except the HTTP layer and the console layer. Those are tested a little bit differently, okay? Those are tested on features. So on the features, you will end up with HTTP and console testing, and this is the place you actually test controllers and console commands. However, you want to do it a little bit differently. You want to do it like just smoke testing, basically. You don't want to test the actions in isolation. That job is done on the unit level. So here we are going to have actions in literally one test for every single action we have. So looking at the offer status, I feel like the first logical status we can have here is literally create a draft offer, okay? So what I will do here is literally just type, you know, on my app, I'm going to create something called actions. Oh, we already have an actions? We do, right here with a git keep. So I'm going to remove this. And now I'm going to create, let's just say, create offer. And I feel like creating an offer by default will always be on draft. I think that will be the correct move here. So I'm going to just type create offer, okay? PHP. So this will basically be a regular PHP class with a namespace action. And now I'm going to just simply create this with the name create offer. And I want to have my handle method to actually execute the action, okay? And this will hopefully return the offer back. That's the way I see it, at least, okay? So we have our create offer table action, apologize. So I feel we want to move with TDD now by going to my unit folder and possibly create this actions folder. On this actions folder, I'm going to literally create this create offer test and actually, you know, start to ensure that my action does what it should, okay? So open PHP tag, bam, bam, bada boom. And then the first thing I'm going to do is that it creates an offer. That's the first thing I want to ensure. So I'm going to type, it creates offer, and I'm going to resolve the action out of the container. This is something I always recommend as well, is that if you're testing actions, always resolve the action out of the container. So there is a reason for this, okay? There is a reason for this. The actions are going to end up being resolved out of the controller container. So you want to resolve them in the same way on the test suite, okay? Why I just saw balloons? What the heck? Why I just saw balloons? Like, what was that? What I just have done to saw balloons? What was that? Can I see it again? What I have done? Balloons? Balloons? What was that? Did you guys saw that? Or I'm like being crazy at the moment? Oh, that was it? Because I have reached 940 subscribers? That was fun, dude. Oh my god, that was hilarious. Magician, yeah. What the heck? No, for real now. It was like a Twitch thing or something. I don't know, man. I don't even know. It was like I reached a goal or whatever. What the heck? What was that? Okay, I don't know, I guess. I guess I just saw balloons and that's it. All right, folks. It's from my iOS? I don't think it is, though. I don't think it is. Peace sign with your... What do you mean? I don't know, man. Like this or whatever? I don't know. All right, let's move forward. So, as I was saying, you want to resolve the... action from the container in your test suite, because this action will also be resolved out of the container in your controller, okay? So we can move forward this with a little bit. And, typically what I expect is that if I call the handle method, I need to provide at least some of the arguments of the action, right? So to create an offer, obviously we need something that belongs to the offer, which will be the user who created the offer, possibly the description, the content of the offer. So let's just work with that a little bit as well. So I'm going to go to my create offer, and here I'm going to just put user. This will be my user. Jesus, this music is giving me like, this kind of vibes, All right, user, what else do we have? What can we do? Possibly an array of attributes, okay? I'm going to keep it simple for now. So create offer, we have the thing, and we can do now is literally create the user for the offer, okay? So I'm going to just type user factory create with a little fresh at the end. I do have a trait on Laravel Cloud, which literally doesn't require me to call the fresh every single time, which I probably should make a package out of it, because I'm recommending this stuff, and I should probably talk about this. But on Laravel Cloud, I actually have on my factories, which they are at this level right here. I have created this trait, call it refresh or fresh on create, I think. It's called it fresh on create, which automatically calls the create automatically. I should probably make a package out of it for sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By the way, for those who just arrived, my name is Nuno, Laravel PHP developer and everything in between. If you're watching me on YouTube, please give me a like there. Also follow me. I have videos every single day at 1 p.m. If you're watching me on Twitch, give me a follow as well. I stream every single day at 9 p.m. What else? You can hit the subscribe button if you want to support financially. And all the money I get will be reinvested on the stream. If you're watching me on X or Twitter, go to YouTube or Twitch, because experience is just a little bit better, if I'm honest, okay? Adrian is saying, with the problem with the fresh is that with a B code base, we'll double the clarity on each create. Dude, I have at the moment probably the biggest code base I have worked with more than 2,000 unit tests. And the entire test suite runs in less than 10 seconds. Okay? So that's just to give you perspective. All right, folks. So let's go to the create offer again. And, we have this stuff. We now need to basically ensure that our create offer test actually does what it should, which is acting basically preparing, acting, and then assert. Okay, you always want to make sure of this. Okay, so I have made a video about this, but I want you guys to memorize this. When working with testing, the test file should be, not the test file, but the test case should be always like split in 3 different things. The first one is like given something, in this case that given that I am this given user, okay, so given that I have this user, and then the second thing is act. So here you would have, you know, something like acting as or whatever. In this case is literally, you know, literally creating an offer. This is always part of the given. This is literally creating the offer. So this is like the act part. So I'm providing a user and also a couple of attributes. The attributes will be the title of the offer and the description, as GitHub Copilot is suggesting. So given this, acting as creating that given offer, what I do expect? Well, I expect that the returned offer to have a title of my offer, the description to be this is my offer, and finally the user to actually be the user I just created. Okay. I also want to add an extra test here, which will be that we actually only have one job offer on the database. So I'm going to type here expect offers count to be 1, and then and only then to actually test that my offer got created successfully. Okay, let's run the test suite to see how we are. And obviously I have a failing test suite because I'm returning none instead of actually returning the job offer. So let's fix that. What I can do is type user and then, not user, offer, or possibly user offers create with the given attributes, okay? And possibly I can just do this, by the way. Something I want to talk about this is that if you are doing more than one database query, always make sure, you know, that the job offer actually. If you're making more than one database query, always make sure you encapsulate that within a transaction. And actually, we are going to talk about that a little bit later on, okay? Because sometimes you might want to create an offer and publish it immediately. And I'm going to show you a case where you can use nested actions and you want to actually encapsulate those within a transaction, okay? And test all of that at the same time. Okay, let's see the chat a little bit. Nuno is saying Discord. Yeah, by the way, we have a Discord channel where we discuss every single day. Dude, thank you so much for posting that link here. It's actually super useful because I can simply just copy paste and that's it. Ilikani is asking me, what is my font editor? So my font editor is literally JetBrains operator, I think. JetBrains font, basically, okay? Yeah, Adrian is saying that this pattern that we have used it on the test suite, like this thing of given, act, and assert, it's called it AAA. And instead of given is actually a range. You're right, dude. So this is called an AAA pattern, which, you know, this could potentially be a given or prepare. It doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that you basically always separate these 3 things in 3 different, like, almost code lines, okay? Marty was saying, shouldn't return be a tab? I guess you mean, by the way, let me just fix this real quick. I guess you mean on the create offer right here. No, it shouldn't be a tab, I think. But I guess we are going to find out real quick. All right, folks. Adrian is like the wiki, for real. It's like the ChatGPT of my chat, basically. All right, folks, let's run the test suite to see how it goes. And we have a failing test suite again. It's telling me that the status cannot be null, which is interesting, okay? Which is interesting. So here is something that I want to talk about with you, which is, you know, it's telling me that the status cannot be null. So I feel like something we can do is literally, you know, provide the draft status. But undeniably, I'm not really sure if I want to receive a status here. I probably just want to receive the attributes. I want to actually receive the attributes right here. I'm going to just type here string title and description and just do it like this and actually have the status a draft by default. Okay. And we can adjust our test for this as well. Let's go to create offer test and also adjust this stuff like this. And we have a passing test suite. And again, you guys can see we are with 100% test coverage, which is a very good sign, okay? All right, we can move forward. What other things can we do here? Well, obviously, I feel like when someone creates an offer, what kind of edge conditions they may have? Well, they may want to actually publish the offer when they are creating it. So something I feel we probably can do is, create an offer and sets the status to possibly published, basically, okay? And probably something I want to do here is also test that the status by default is actually the draft status, okay? So I'm going to just type here, offer status, and draft as well. So second test we also have the arrange deal. So creates an offer and sets the status to published. So I arrange the entire thing, I act, and I finally set the status to be published, which undeniably looks a little bit weird now, because what I would pass here to begin with just feels confusing to me. Let me think how I want to organize this stuff. So create an offer, that always will be, that must be a separate action, because then like publish or unpublish will be a separate action for this. So I probably feel like, I want to provide the status here. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to go to create offer, and I'm going to just basically being able to provide the status right here. So this will be the offer status, okay? Which will be, undeniably for now, we can either just provide it here, or we can call a nested action, which will be actually publishing publishing the offer. For now, I'm going to keep it simple like this. But I feel like at the end, we are going to have a separate action, which we will need to call it publish action, okay? So here I'm going to just provide offer status by default as published, for example. And here I'm going to provide that the offer status should be a draft. Let's run the entire test suite, and it's failing. Let's see why. So it's failing because this given expectation is trying to match an enum to a string, which is something we shouldn't do. So I'm going to go here and fix that issue by typing offer status published. Okay, run my test suite, which is passing as expected with 100% test coverage. We are exactly where we want to be. Now, let's talk now a little bit about nested actions, because this is something that you always keep in mind. You need to keep this in mind when you are organizing your applications, okay? Typically, something like swapping the status is something that may happen over time, okay? Swapping the status of the offer. So something we probably are going to have here is something that is called publish offer, for example, okay? Now, publishing an offer will be a little bit different from creating an offer, which obviously, creating an offer will just bootstrap the offer on the database. But publishing an offer, it's kind of expected to potentially notify people via email or, broadcast notifications to some people on Slack or whatever. So you really want to have that like as a separate action. And potentially, this is what I like to call reuse actions, is that potentially we will have to reuse that action on the create offer itself and still have a passing test suite. So this will be an interesting thing. Okay, so what I will do here is literally go to my publish offer and literally just create this stuff. So I'm going to type class publish offer and just bootstrap the entire thing just like that. Super simple. Bam, bam, boom. And then we go to this action folder and create our test for this. So I'm going to type publish offer dot test. And and this stuff will basically just, it publishes an offer, okay? Insanely simple. If you have questions, leave them on the chat, because we are going, this exact example is how you should organize actions and how tests can be so useful, testing that little refactor we are going to do, which is using nested actions. So what I will do here is literally just arrange my deal. So I want to arrange this by creating a user and then creating a job offer for that user with the status draft. Okay. Once this is done, I want to actually act. So what we can do is create the publish offer action, just like that. And finally, at some point, we're going to actually, actually act by publishing the offer, okay? And this should be done. And finally, the assert is that if I get the fresh instance of the offer, I expect the offer to be published, okay? Undeniably here, can we use the draft? Do we have any? No, let's just keep this simple for now, okay. So it's telling me that this given action at the moment doesn't accept any offer, which it doesn't. So I'm going to go to publish offer and literally provide that argument here. And we can keep going with TDD. Like we can literally, let me just fix this. Yeah, offer. This is good. Yeah. I've run my test suite. Hopefully we'll just fail because effectively the status should still be draft. We haven't coded the thing yet. And this will be, we'll probably just do two things. Update the status to published. So here I'm going to just type offer status published. And finally, the published will be now. And here potentially we'll be sending emails to whatever or broadcasting to notifications. So this is why actions are so powerful, because you are going to do a lot of stuff right here. This stuff will return void for now, okay? So let's run our test suite, and we have a passing test suite. I just noticed that we have a published which we need to test as well. So let's go to our publish offer test, and keep this in mind when you are testing dates, okay? Dates are tricky to test, but at Laravel, we actually offer you a method which is very interesting, which is called travel. So something you can do is literally this. You can type, you can type something like this. This travel to, and you are going to provide the now helper. And finally, when you are testing stuff, what you can do is the following. Basically get the fresh instance of, of the offer like that. And finally, you obviously want to attest that the status remains published, but also the date will be equal to now. Typically, I like to format this for some reason, so I like to do this. So, the published will have the exact format as now on the same format, okay? So this should just work, I feel like. Let's run our test suite and see how it goes. And we have a failing. Let's understand the failure. I'm going to push all the way up. And the failure is that we have an undefined variable now. Okay, let's just assign the variable correctly. And I can do that real quick by doing this. Run my test suite, and now it's passing as expected. So we haven't done a couple of things, which is testing that we can effectively publish an offer. And again, typically here you would have stuff like mail, assert, send, potentially broadcast or whatever, assert, sent as well. You could have a bunch of stuff here, potentially, if you are, having some side effects on the action itself. Now, one last thing I want to do here is that this action in particular, call it publishing an offer, it masters all the business logic of publishing an offer. So you want to use that as well when you are creating an offer, especially an offer with the status published. So something you can do, and this is why testing is so powerful. Just check this out. I'm going to come here and inject this little publish offer right here. So this is an action being published on my constructor. So now I can use this action, okay? I can literally use this action. So what we can do is encapsulate this within a DB transaction, just like that, and do the following. First of all, create the job offer, just like that. And finally, this is like the most exciting thing I find this year. And finally, you can do this. Literally, just type this, publish offer, handle the given offer. So basically, reusing the logic we already have to publishing an offer if the status actually matches that. So I actually want to encapsulate this within a match statement. So if the status is published, then I want to actually publish the offer using my own logic on my own action. And hopefully, this is why testing is so powerful. And hopefully, I still have a passing test suite. So fingers crossed, okay? Fingers crossed. All right, you guys ready? Clear my terminal. Bam, bam, bam. Big unveil. And we have a passing test suite. Did you guys saw like the amount of refactor we have done? And suddenly we still have a passing test suite. It's so cool. It's literally so cool. We literally refactored the process of publishing an offer immediately when we create one to reuse an action we already have created, which will potentially sending emails and whatever. and we still have a passing test suite. So this is the moment where we acknowledge that your test suite really gives you confidence, which is what I feel when I look at this test suite, is that this test suite gives me confidence. And this is also why you don't want to use mocks. Because if we were to use mocks on this stuff, we would have basically a failing test suite right now. Just imagine this. If we would have here stuff like, on this particular test call, it creates an offer, set status to published. If we would have here, you know, create offer and then mock and expect receive, you know, handle with whatever, basically this test right here would fail now. And it's still passing thanks to the fact that we are not using mocks. What do you guys think about this? What did you guys think about this? Insanely cool? Yes. Not cool, say no. I find this super insanely cool. You know what I mean? King is saying hello from South Africa. Hi dude, nice to see you. Pick and Flow, when it says 100% test coverage, does it mean that it knows that every method created has a test? Yes. So basically past PHP with the help of a bunch of other libraries like Xdebug, PHP Unit and more, we actually understand which one of your methods is actually being called. So if I go to something like create offer, just check this out, dude, just check this out. If I go to create offer and I have potentially another public method which does XIZ or whatever, and I have this stuff, and now I run past PHP with exactly 100% test coverage, you will see that this test suite will fail because the code coverage is below 100%, it currently sits on top of 97%. You know what I mean? Because this method is not being tested at all, which is pretty cool. So Adrian is saying use the freeze method. Interesting. So you mean like on a testing date deal? Let's go there and test that real quick. So you mean right here? Okay, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that, my friend. So you say like freeze like this? It doesn't seem to exist though. Oh, it does? No, it doesn't. Not really sure though. What do you mean? Oh, freeze time maybe? Oops. Oh yeah, freeze time. But then I need to provide a callback, don't I? I'm gonna just provide like freeze time. Yeah, I think I need to provide within a callback and whatever. So I'm gonna keep it simple for now. Okay. All right. What else? Hi, Mike PT is saying, no. If you do a lot of things on actions, it is a good approach to use queue jobs. All right, I'm going to explain you. Typically on actions, I don't use queue jobs unless I'm doing some heavy lifting or side effects. So if I go to the publish offer, okay, typically I want every time I send an email, like email to whatever, this stuff should always be as a queue job. You know, email to, or potentially other kind of facades that use queuable jobs behind the scenes. However, let's imagine for a second that this job is pending, for example, okay, like this. And actually the process of, you know, having the offer as published is something that you will need some API calls or whatever. Typically what I do is I have this provision offer, dispatch the offer. So this basically will finishing the process behind the scenes. So queue jobs when only and only there is like some heavy lifting to do. I make PT is saying, or make a job that calls separate actions. So actions call jobs. Jobs do not call actions. At least that's the way I like to architecture things. You know what I mean? The coffee is saying, hi Nuno, does actions replace controllers? I don't see using controllers. That's a great question. That's a great question. We are going today to explore as well how controllers will use these actions. Okay, I'm gonna show you all of that. Okay, no worries. Mario is saying, in the big project with bulky models, which I typically don't do. My models are small by default, by the way. But with a big project with bulky models, would you introduce actions to it? Wouldn't that confuse other devs having different ways of doing different things? I don't know, man. The most important thing, and always keep this in mind, this is something that I defend on every single team I work with. The most important thing is consistency. Okay? I'm gonna actually change here to my hip-hop music. because literally this deserves some hip hop stuff here. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my hip hop stuff, and let's go with Find My Me. There we go. So doesn't matter like the types of things you use. The most important thing is consistency. So if you start with actions and you call those actions from the controller, just try to replicate that consistency across the entire app. If you start with event sourcing, you know, use potential event sourcing everywhere. But if you start with bulky models, where the models will handle, you know, potentially some of the logic of your app, just keep it like that forever, you know? So if a new team member comes to the team, it will be immediately clear for them how things work on this project, you know? The worst thing you can have on the project is literally a lack of consistency, like finding a controller, which is the final class, which does things like injecting dependencies and then does things through event, hexagonal, whatever. That will be confusing by itself. But then you go to another model, which is totally different and does things completely different. So you kind of want to ensure that you always use the same stuff. You know what I mean? Regardless of if it's super correct or super incorrect. You know what I mean? Cool stuff. Thank you, Kay. Thank you for saying that. Duca10 is asking me, there is a way of knowing what method is not being tested? Yeah, so apologize if I haven't showed that, but basically if I go here and I have a method, call it, let's say, Duca10, for example. So this method is obviously not being tested, okay? I can use variables that doesn't exist, for example, and do whatever if I want to. And, you know, hopefully I still have a passing test suite. Actually, it's failing for some reason. Let me just double check. Oh, okay. I did why it's failing? Oh, never mind. Did a change here, okay? There we go. So here we have a passing test suite, okay? But if I have something like, let's say like this, and I run again test coverage, I'm supposed to have this, you know, you are supposed to be at 100%, but you have 89%. So if you look at these lines right here, you see exactly that the missing test is on the publish offer class on the lines 20 to 22 and 23. So this is exactly where you can know which method is not yet being tested, okay? Yeah, Adrian is saying with coverage reports. Yeah, this is basically coverage reports right there on the console, which from my knowledge, I think PASS is probably one of the first frameworks just having this on the console right there. The coffee is saying, so if I understand correctly, you are just abstracting some logic that would live on the controller and create something or update something to actions. So there is a little bit difference from having these actions as the regular classes or having controllers. So keep this in mind. If I go, for example, to this create offer, you see that I'm reusing, again, the word reusing this publish offer action on this create offer. You know, which is typically something that you might not be able to do with controllers. You know, if you have a controller, for example, with the name store or with the store method, you potentially want to reuse some logic that may not actually be available on that controller. So, you know what I mean? So that's a little bit the difference. Sadi Kumar is asking me what do I think about pipelines. I don't use them. Dukaten is saying, this is crazy cool. Thank you. Really appreciate. Adrian is saying the best would be -- coverage HTML. Yeah, why would I use HTML if I can just see it on the console? No sense, dude. Like literally, I can run coverage and have the report on my console just right here. Like, why would I want to see this in HTML? The console is the most cool UI we can get as a developer. So, you know. Darvoid is saying traits. So, yeah, traits could work. My problem with traits, dude, is that in generally thinking, traits is not the programming concept that lives in all languages, you know? It's not, traits are something that you would find probably, you know, on Ruby, but it's not something that is like widely adopted, you know, at least by everyone. I feel like you can see them, but I feel like this is just way more clear. That's my understanding. Okay. Oh yeah, console reigns supreme. Yeah, oh yeah, console is just the best UI you can get as a developer, man. The coffee is saying, I don't understand that reuse. I'm going to show you because we are going to create a controller, and I will, you know, make sure that you get that part in the next 10 minutes, okay? Duka10 is asking me, what does the match we inside a transaction? Yeah, so depending of the status we are creating the offer with, we want to actually potentially execute some action. So you guys may know, like, we are going to have archive, for example, published in other kind of statuses. And the only thing I'm using here is reusing this publish offer action. I'm going to actually rename this to publish offer action so it is clear for you all. So, you know, potentially the UI will allow you to do two things. Create an offer, just a regular human being, but you also want to publish the offer like with a regular button, for example. So what I have done here is that allowing the people to literally update a job offer just like that, you know, just regular, without having to create the offer, just simply published. And what I have done here is reuse that logic right here on my create. So I've created the job offer normally using the given status, but at the same time, I actually execute the auction, the real thing, the publish offer action to actually publish the offer. So just code reuse, basically. Cool Torvald is saying, can you run the coverage with PHP Storm? That's something that I don't do. I don't use the PHP Storm UI for those sort of things. So I don't use PHP Storm UI for Git. I don't use PHP Storm UI for coverage. Yeah. Darvoid is asking me if I know the charm .sh. Yes, I do. Friendly reminder for drinking water. Let's do that. Cheers to that, dude. Miguel is asking if actions come from CQRS. I have no idea, dude. They come... my patterns, you know, we talk a lot about design patterns. Like this concept of design patterns. I like to prove them on real apps. And I do build real apps. So I know exactly what I'm saying when I'm telling you that actions, in the way I use them, they are just great, you know? So sometimes you might hear terms like very difficult terms to understand as a design patterns, but I can tell you that you only fully understand them when you use them on real projects, okay? All right, folks, let's move forward. We have a lot of stuff to do today, okay? So we have two actions, which I feel they will, you know, they will actually be used by our controllers. I want a third one, though, to achieve the job offer. So let's potentially do what? Create an... Actually, here, this should be the default status, which is draft. You know, draft. There you go. And then I will publish if there is actually a status published. All right. So let's create here an action with a name, achieve offer. Okay, because maybe someone just find the perfect candidate to their job offer, and we want to achieve the offer as the owner. So I'm going to just type achieve offer.php, which typically should be very similar to you know, the publish offer test. So I'm going to go here and type something like, let's say, achieve offer test. And I should just have to change a few things. So it achieves an offer, creates an offer on draft, and then I will travel to now. Finally, I will achieve the offer. Oh, we don't have this class yet? Oh, we don't. Thank you, thank you. So I'm going to call this... Actually, I'm going to do nothing for now. I'm going to just call this achieve offer, okay? And, you know, on my achieve offer test, I can now import this class and actually achieve the given offer. And after refresh, I expect the offer to be achieved. And also the achieved at contain the same dates. Okay, so if I run my test suite, it should fail, which it does. It's one test failing. The date doesn't match, and the stage doesn't match as well. So I can go to my achieve offer and actually perform this task. There we go. And I can just run this, and it works. And potentially a task that I want to add here is that I want to be able to achieve offers that have been published. So what I would do here is that it may achieves an offer that has been published, for example. Okay. So what we can do is, you know, write similar test, just like this. This time we are going to create the offer as published, which I think we have a method for this, right? I don't remember. I'm going to use status published for now. Actually, we do have a method for this, don't we? Let me check. Let me go to offer factory. We do. We could use this. Let's use this. So I'm going to create the published offer for my user. What else do I want to do? So I have the user, I have the offer. Acting as that user, achieve the offer, and I expect the status to be achieved. Achieve that to have the current date, but I also want to make sure that the published date didn't change. So let's test that as well. The published at should be basically the original one. It's kind of stupid, right? And I'm going to do this. Published at. There we go. And there we go. So we are basically testing that we are able to achieve the offer, and the offer still have the published at, which is serves a little bit like temporal information we can, you know, refer to if we have to. So that being said, this test working? I may want to travel a little bit early because of the factory creating that given date. All right, let's run this. And the test suite is passing as expected. Pretty cool stuff, little friends. And we literally coded one more status. By the way, if you guys don't know me, my name is Nuno, PHP and Laravel developer and everything in between, creating of past PHP, OpenAI for PHP, and many more. And today we are having a stream about unit testing. If you're watching me on YouTube, please give me a like button, okay? Click on the like button, okay, if you can. Because I've been literally noticing that my live streams have not the same quantity of likes as the same people of watching it, you know? So give me a like there, subscribe my channel. If you're watching me on Twitch, give me a following there as well. You can also subscribe my work if you want to, and basically that will support my live streams, okay? All right, let's move forward. Oh my god, this is a big chat. I really like, by the way, when the chat interacts with me. Just makes the stream so much more fun. Like when everyone is literally just writing on the chat, you know, making suggestions. It's just so much better. Welcome, Matheus, to the stream. Nice to see you, dude. All right, folks. What can we do now? That boy is saying, to me, the concept of action is nothing new. People call them services, managers, handlers, use cases before. Maybe. For me, the services folder is something that I like to use for external services. But yeah, I mean, if you have a class that does a particular logic that can be reused, I feel like it's something that we always have done in the past. For real. Jacob is asking me if I'm going to Laracon AU next year. Maybe. All right, folks, let's move forward. I want to talk about controllers today. So we now have actions. I feel the next natural step moving forward, because we have 100% test coverage, which is pretty cool, is literally talk about controllers, okay? So controllers, they live again at the feature folder. So we are going to HTTP and we are going to do something that looks like this, jobs. And the first thing I want to have is literally a, let's say, a list test, okay? This will be pretty simple, you know. It lists only published jobs, for example, okay? This is the first test we are going to write. So what can we do here? Well, we can obviously create a job A, let's say this, job A. Oh, this could be job, but it's an offer, man. The job table is literally reserved for Laravel. Okay, we create the job, we create the second job, and this one I want to create as well, but potentially with a different date. So let's create this with created at with now subday, for example. Oh, actually we want to use the published at, by the way, because it's the published at we are going to use for sorting a little bit the response. This will be created with 1 day ago. Okay, this makes sense. And finally I have a job C, which will be unpublished. Draft, basically, okay? So I feel like we have prepared our scenario. We do need a user to act as that user, right? So let's do that. Okay, just like that. Bam, 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 but the boom, gap, boom. Finally, we have arranged the entire thing. I feel that now the next logical step is literally acting as that user, getting the jobs index and assert it's fine. And I kind of want to assert the following content. So let's just type assert JSON, actually assert JSON count. 2, yes sir. And I also expect to see, you know, job ID 1 and 2. I do expect to see this in a particular order, being that, yeah, let me put here a little bit different here. So if this one is created before, to complicate things a little bit, I expect to see the B first and then only the A, okay? And this should do it. I do not expect to see the job C because it's not yet published, okay? And again, you guys want to separate the act from the expect itself. So what you can do is literally something I always do, which is this. You get the thing, and finally you actually exert things on the response. Okay, so we run our test suite, which will be obviously failing, and we can work with this, okay? So the first thing it's telling me is that the user is not found. Okay, let's import the user on top, just right like that, super easy, bam, bam. Run our test suite. The next thing is, it doesn't, the offer factory doesn't have a draft, you know, modifier. It doesn't. If it doesn't, it should be, it should have. Okay, let's fix that. Come on, ChatGPT. Come on, ChatGPT. Give me the good autocomplete. Please, please, please. Thank you, thank you. Bam, bam, boom. Move forward. Test suite failing again. Jobs index is not defined. So this is like how powerful TDD can be, because it's literally just telling you where to go, what to do. It's pretty cool stuff, in my opinion. So we go to where we go, routes, and we create this web route for this. So we can do something like this, route. Group, actually I want to do route prefix jobs and then do a group with a function. The base one should return all jobs, the second one should return basically the job itself. I want to use controllers obviously for this, so I'm going to type PHP artisan make controller and then type offer controller, which undeniably it's not jobs, it's offers. So let's just type offer controller here and at the same time fix this real quick. So this is offers. And here we are going to import the job, the offer control, and the index method. And finally, here, do I want to see it? Not yet, just basically list the job. Here we know that we're going to have more stuff, but especially for basically change the status of the offer or create a new one as well. What else? So now I'm going to go to my list test. Actually, I want to run my test suite to see how it goes. And it's failing, of course, because the jobs index doesn't exist. Yes, sir. This is now being renamed to offers index. Moving forward, offers index does not exist. It doesn't? You lying past PHP, because you do exist. There we go. move forward. The answer is not okay because there is no method index. So let's move there to our HTTP offer controller. And meanwhile, while you guys are watching me doing some TDD right here, so this process of actually, you know, seeing the errors on the console and move your code flow with it, this is called TDD. Do you guys personally do TDD, or it's something that you don't feel is like necessary for your line of work? Let me know. I'm just curious about that. The Kofi is saying, shouldn't you left the job C to make sure it doesn't appear on the test? Actually, I think we did that. So if I go to my tests feature, index test, list test, apologize. This should be called list as well. Oops. If I go to my list test, I'm making sure I have a JSON count of 2, which already tests that the job C is not on a list. And then I'm also testing the IDs of those 2. So we're chilling, okay? Good question, by the way. And Dave is saying because he has set it on the count. Exactly, the count basically makes sure we don't need to do this, which is pretty cool. Juka10 is saying, I don't even do testing yet. Oh my god, dude. Go to my Discord, man. I'm gonna help you out, okay? Go to my Discord, try to set up some testing in your project, and if you need some help, I will be there for you, okay? No worries about that. RD00000 is saying that I code and at the end I make tests around my code, making sure they pass. All right, dude. If you do some testing, you are already 1% of the top developers in the world because most of them don't do tests at all. Leah Codes is saying that I'm getting used to writing tests in general, so I don't really do TDD. Good luck, Leah, with that. If you need help, let me know. I'm on Discord every single day. Jacob is saying that I feel like I use some sort of TDD, except in terms of defining routes. Yeah, sometimes you probably will see me today. Like sometimes I do things a little bit in advance. Let's say, for example, like technically when I defined the route, when I was on the web PHP, you guys remember. So I was defining the route with the name and I immediately created the controller because I just noticed that I will have to do it anyway. So it doesn't really mean that you have to literally just do the bare minimal to pass. You can sometimes just, you know, do some easy work in the meanwhile, you know what I mean? Yeah, by the way, on Laravel Cloud, I sometimes also write tests at the end, so I don't always write tests at the beginning. To be fair, I think I write more tests at the end than doing regular TDD like I'm doing. You know, but I do see the value on TDD, okay? The coffee is saying that I have removed the job C. I don't think I have. It's still being created. So if I go to my unit, no, yeah, so you see this thing right here? This little line is literally creating the job C, you know? So I just removed the variable, so the factory will still create the job C behind the scenes and add it to the database, you know? Maxi is asking me if I have tried .NET. Back in the days, man, like probably 15 years ago, when I was in college, I did .NET. And it was fun. .NET was one of my one of my first web development stuffs, and I liked it. I think it was fun. Adrian is saying I do senior TDD. Bulliot Fixer is saying writing tests is required at work. No code is shipped without tests. That's cool, man. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm always like that as well. Gover Mamad is saying, do you use BB in transaction? Yeah, so on the in my create offer, I have encapsulated the process of creating the offer itself plus publishing the offer all within a transaction. This is insanely powerful. Insanely powerful. Okay, so if you create an offer, let's say I create an offer on the database, but then something while publishing the offer actually fails, the entire DB transaction will roll back and things will be like they were before. That's why transactions are so powerful. We can make an entire stream about that, but basically, if you encapsulate like an entire operation within transactions, if the very last thing fails, all the DB operation fails. And most people, I mean, I don't know how experts you guys are on transactions, but you probably will see stuff on the internet saying, oh, transactions are blocking, and potentially you will block the entire table. That's not true. So stuff like MySQL uses row level locking. So it's like incredibly smart, making sure that things will remain okay after that. We can make an entire stream about that, by the way. It's also a fun topic. By the way, if you don't know me, my name is Nuno Maduro, a Portuguese web developer who works with Laravel and PHP. I'm part of the Laravel core team, and today we are talking about creating an application on Laravel, which is a job board, and doing some unit testing, TDD with it as well, you know, and discuss and have fun in the process. If you're watching me on YouTube, leave me a like, please, and also follow me. I'm publishing videos every single day at 1 p.m. If you're watching me on Twitch, give me a follow there and subscribe my work if you want to. All the money that I get from this will be reinvested on the stream itself to make it better. If you're watching me on X, on Twitter, just go to Twitch and YouTube because we don't even know if X will be there tomorrow. So I guess just move to YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, you can find me on Discord pretty much every single day. Thank you, Jonas. I mean, the link is really cool, man. Thank you so much for that. Adrian is saying that failing transactions will hit an ID. Yeah, but how many times that actually happens? You know, like I don't think I had in production a failed transaction on Laravel Cloud yet. Just to give you the perspective. So. Jake is saying transactions are super useful when creating multiple things within a workflow. For real, man. Like, especially when you have very complex logic that touches on several places, you know, and it's just so useful. Making sure that the DB consistency, it's like, okay. All right, let's get some work done. So we have our offer controller, we run our test suite, and it's complaining because there is no index method. So let's create that. I'm gonna go here, public function, index. I want to get this method like fairly quickly fast because I want to move to the store method, which is the funny one. Okay. So what I want to do here, like keep stupidly simple. I'm going to fetch all job offers and then I'm going to return them all, I guess. Possibly, but not exactly. I want to get this like stupidly simple for now. I think I'm going to do... Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to do this. Yeah, let's do this for now. By the way, I don't have time to show you this today, but I do not place queries directly on my controllers. I have a totally different pattern for that. We can talk another day about that. But on Laravel Cloud, we have a separate folder which holds like very important business queries like this one. Because typically, I mean, you can imagine like a job board. Having literally the listed offers won't be as simple as give me all of them, all of those who are published. There is like ranking, there is like, you know, get the relevant ones for this user, there is like categories, there is so many stuff. And from experience, that query will end up being like this size, you know, like a size of a sheet of paper. And you want to ensure that very important queries about your business, they remain all in the same place, okay? All right, folks, we want the published ones. This should actually just work now. And it doesn't. Okay, let's see why. Oh, because we have more than only the ID. I feel like for now, what do I want to do? Yeah, I want to keep this part simple because, you know, the important part is basically the store stuff. So I feel like, do we have a JSON which does the canonical thing the guy was talking about? Do we have this fragment deal? Let's see if it works. It doesn't. All right, we're gonna keep it simple for now and just return the IDs at the moment. So I'm gonna get the offers, which I do have, and then I'm gonna possibly map this, you know, only the ID for now. Possibly the title. Ah, yeah, I want the title, description, published at. Let's just return these 4 fields at the moment. So this should have basically a failing test suite at the moment, which it does. And I'm going to go to my list test and adjust this a little bit. So what do we have here? So obviously we have the ID number 1. You know, we also have, you know, the title, the description, and the published at. And I want to do the same for this second job. Okay. So there's 2 things we are testing here at the moment. We are testing obviously that we have only 2 jobs on the being returned to the list, but also we are testing us a little bit the information of those jobs at the same time. Also the order of the query, which is probably the reason why this is failing. It's because I need to basically sort this stuff by published at. So I'm going to order by desk published at. Was this like listening to me? Sometimes GitHub Copilot is just so smart. Like literally, I was just saying I want to order this stuff by published at, and it basically just appeared. Sometimes it's a little bit crazy. All right, almost there. Oh, we need to use the assert JSON. There we go. And almost there. We have. Oh, I need to basically. I would expect Laravel to do that though. Interesting. Oh, do I need to do the to array deal? Wait a second. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna. Do I need to format this? Likely. Yeah, I do. All right, dudes. So we have a basic index method which returns a list of offers, only the published ones, but also the ones that are ordered by, you know, published date. And that's why we see the job offer B before seeing the A, because the job offer B was created literally after the job offer A. Okay. So we have the list only published jobs, which I think it does the job for now. The second thing I want to ensure is that I test the store method, okay? So I'm gonna type store test for this, and this will be basically store test, which allows me to create an offer. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna call this it creates a offer, okay? And something I want to tell you regarding actions is that I don't think this will actually allow me to do the perfect example, but regarding HTTP testing, you want to do only smoke testing, okay? So let's assume, for example, that your publish offer will send an email. So testing that the given action actually sends an email is something that we'll do at action level. So you want to test that right here on the publish offer test. And you wouldn't do that when you are creating an offer and creating the test for that offer. You know what I mean? So the very granular things you test at actioner level. Smoke testing comes only at controller level, okay? So here I'm going to just create an offer. And for that, I'm going to arrange, first of all, okay? Let's see what ChatGPT is suggesting to me. Yeah, I need to create a user, that's for sure. And then I'm going to basically just act as that user. And I'm going to post to the offer store with the my offer and description. And I want to keep this as simple as possible, you know, not testing emails, not testing whatever. I want to keep this as simple as possible. So I'm going to type, you know, offer count to be 1. And then also, possibly I want to fetch all my users' offers. So I'm going to type offer will be equal to user offers first, and kind of making sure that offer stays on draft. Okay, this should be good enough to get me started with this. Okay, clear my terminal, run vendor bean passed, and you should start complaining a little bit about the things we have to do. The first thing is we need the offer store, which is not defined, okay? Oh my God, I just listened this on the chat. Just check this little phrase on the chat by DKeyDev420. And he's just said, transactions make you sleep at night. This is so true. This is so true, dude. Thank you for saying this, by the way. Mora Weekly is saying it's better that transactions eat an ID than or fake data. Yeah, you mean like data that doesn't make sense? Yeah, I would rather transactions just, you know, hit basically an ID. Dukachan is asking me how you deal with statuses. Do you normally use enums and why? I normally just use statuses table on a DB, but now I'm noticing actually I don't need because statuses rarely change. Well, I can tell you that typically when I use status, they do change, and I use enums for that. Typically, just enums like this for that. Okay. These enums will potentially, what typically happens because I work with inertia too, is that I will need this status on the front end, and if I need this status on the front end on every single page, I just return them like initially when the inertia is rendering, and that's it. Using this label deal, by the way. Maxwell is saying, I am from Brazil. What's the best way of learning English? Well, the best way of learning English is literally speaking English. You will be, this sounds a stupid advice, but I do actually speak French, and I speak Portuguese. So I'm going to speak Portuguese a little bit. Olá a todos, meu nome é Nuno e bem-vindos ao stream. This is Portuguese. I also speak French. Como ça va tout le monde? Bienvenue à la stream. Aujourd'hui, je parle de PHP. So this is French as well, and I also speak English. And when I didn't know actually French in the past, and I moved to Paris for 5 years, and I forced myself speaking French every single day. And I know, for example, that some people went to France, they are there for 5 years already and more, and they don't speak French at all because they never basically forced themselves to speak French. So, if you want to speak English, just speak English every single day at home, with buddies, with friends. Just force yourself to speak English, and at some point it will basically be almost native. Samu Deep is asking me, I guess you are coupling domain models with the DB, don't you? Dude, I just absolutely love coupling. Coupling is the best thing in the world, especially when using Laravel. I want everything to be the most coupled as possible. Couple everything. That's what I love, Now, realistically, I just, Laravel is a framework that uses a lot of coupling, and we just have to embrace it, If I'm using Laravel, I may as well embrace the entire thing, So I don't care if my models are coupled to the database, because I will never change a framework on this project, so I guess that's fine. Adrian is saying that I could use the only on the list. I could probably do that. I do have this format which makes me think a little bit why this is not working. I'm gonna keep like this for now, but I do get what you mean. What you mean is like I could potentially just do this, okay? Which is true. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Yeah, GitHub Govar is saying that GitHub Copilot is lifesaver. I agree with you, man. Dicky Dev is saying you don't speak CR7. Mateus Jungles is saying, man, I want to learn French so bad. Rodrigo is saying, finally I have to catch you live. How are you doing? I'm doing fantastic, Rodrigo. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, man. Martos is saying, I know a lot of languages, PHP, JavaScript, Ruby, and Go. Well, that's cool, man. I've worked with PHP as well, JavaScript, Python, Ruby, not Go. I should do a stream to learn Go a little bit, I feel like. The coffee is saying, you are testing controllers, why not call it jobs and not controllers? Not sure what you mean, dude. All right, folks, let's move forward. So let's run the test suite. It's obviously failing because the offer store is not defined. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, everyone, okay, everyone get ready because tomorrow we have someone from the PHP internal team, PHP Foundation coming to the stream, okay? So as you may well know, PHP is a language. Someone has to code the language, and for that we have something called the PHP Foundation / PHP internals. And tomorrow we are going to have someone live here on Twitch and YouTube to speak about all of this stuff. So we are going to speak about what is the PHP Foundation, how the PHP Foundation come up to be a thing, what is the PHP internals, who are the PHP internals, who is working on PHP internals, what we're going to have on PHP 9. So I think will be very exciting. I count with you all to be here tomorrow, okay? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Jeep and Castle. We are going to have some PHP internal stuff. I think it'll be fun. All right, dudes, let's work on this offer store. So I'm going to go to my offer, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to just type, you know, route store on the given offers deal, offer controller store, offer store, blah, 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 blah. So that's working good. Now the only thing is that, you know, it's not even working. So I guess I have to go to my offer controller and literally just type public function store. Now, here comes a very important thing about actions, okay? A very important thing. The actions that we have coded, this is where they come in together, this is where they come all together, okay? We are creating an offer. And remind yourself, we don't do that on controllers, okay? We do that through actions. So what can we do is literally this. Just provide the action right here, create offer, and just call this action, okay? Typically, you would receive the request right here as well, okay? Ideally, to be fair, this would be a create offer request, which we are going to do if you don't mind as well. But then you create the action as well and return back a response, okay? This is typically how I approach these things, okay? So we now have the store method, which I'm going to keep it empty for now. Run past. And it's still failing because it's not actually create the job offer. So something we can do now is literally just call our action, handle, the given request, which will be validated at some point. But for now, let's just pass it all to the handle method, okay? This would just work. I do need all the values individually. So yeah, so I'm gonna do request user, the offer status from the given value. And we have this little thing on Laravel, call it enum offer status, okay? Request string title and request string description, okay? This should just have a passing test suite, almost. We are almost there. So failure to assert that 0 is identical to 1. Interesting. Are we even arriving here? The answer is yes. So we do call create offer. So why would this be failing? Okay. The best debugger in the world, DD, man. DD is just the best. What the heck? Huh? Oh, I know why this is failing, by the way. Let's go to our start task. Acting as user, post to that given route and assert. And expect the offers to be... I need to refresh my user? Give me a second here. I don't. Why this is failing? Interesting. All right, chat, I need some help here. Emergency situation. My test suite is not passing for some reason. I mean, I don't know why. Rodrigo is asking me, what is my experience with inertia regarding testing? At Laravel Cloud, we use 3 things actually. So we test the props being returned by inertia. We test the console log errors in production staging and dev using Sentry. And we have Laravel Dusk, which will basically do the most common actions. Adrian, my test suite is not passing. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, Adrian? Just tell me the solution on chat. Jojo is asking me why PHP? Because it contains the best framework in the world, my buddy. Call it Laravel. The post is not saving. Okay, Samu, let's see that. I think it is because we have an action for that. So post offers create, blah, blah, blah. We do have an offer here, right? Yeah, we do. It's literally right here. What the heck? Is this actually 0? Come on, dudes. I need some help here. This is not working and I have no idea why. All right, I'm going to go to my controller right here and just literally, you know, fetch the offer from the action itself and DD the offer. Oh. This is weird. Why am I not returning anything from that? That's weird. Something is really wrongly happening here. So, oh, it seems to be... Mass assignment protection from Claudio. You know what? It cannot be that. For a particular reason that I'm using, call it unguard deal. Transaction fails, says Adrian. Yeah, it must be that, right? It must be that. So I'm creating the thing, publishing the offer. Why would the transaction fail? Yeah, it's not this for sure. Okay, I have an idea. Let's go to our store test. Literally do the following. Let's just allow the test to run until the end. Now it's passing. Oh, I have an idea, dude. Let's basically... Okay, I know, like, the reason why we are having this problem, it's because we haven't actually write the correct test. So something I want to do always at the end is assert that the response is actually successful. So that's the problem, because I'm very likely to have actually a 500 right here, and I forgot to literally assert that. There we go. There we go. We have an answer. So 500 is happening. So something I can do is literally the following. I can just type assert status 201, for example, okay? Actually, when this happens, if I'm realistic, yeah, 201, let's do that. So now it will tell me you don't have a 201 because we have an exception, blah, 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 blah. And the problem is that the create offer, the second argument status needs to be from this given type. So the DD we were having in the past was because of a different test. We should have run this test literally in isolation using the only method from past PHP, you know? So the DD we were seeing is related to other tests we have on actions. All right, folks, so we can fix this issue by going to offer controller and literally provide offer status right here. So apparently it's saying the second argument, which is status, must be of the type offer status. Is not what this little thing is doing? It is, right? No, apparently not. Interesting. Oh, did I forgot to provide a status, my friend? Very likely to be that, huh? Yes, I forgot him. I forgot to provide a status right here, which should be draft by default. There we go. So this type of deal wouldn't happen if when we have the request form in place. So anyways. All right, so we now have a status still failing for some reason, which we are going to find out real soon. So actually the arguments are swapped here. The first should be the status and the second thing should be the enum. So I'm going to go just literally swap this stuff. There we go. Running past, now it's almost passing. The store return value should be an HTTP response, none is returned. So I'm going to just type, what is this? HTTP created? I will not use this, never in my life. Why should I use basically a constant when I can just do this? Just so much better, right? Bam, bam, bam. And now I have a passing test suite. So now one really cool thing here is that I can basically just come below and type this. It creates an offer that is published by default, for example. So what I can do here is simply come here, create an offer that should be published immediately. Do we have an immediately? Yes. So a range, blah, 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 status is offer status equals to the published value, 204, first one to be published. Bam, 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 bada boom, test suite passing. And you can see how clear this action is. Literally just like this 5 methods right here. And everything else that you have to do will basically be on the action itself, which can be reused, you know, for the console stuff, for everything really. We need something here, which is the form validation. We are going to work on that and actually had some tests into that as well. Back in Snacks is saying this is not VS Code. No, it's not. It's PHP Storm. Ismar is saying you are not returning the response too. Now I am, though. Figata43 is making like a very big question. Please just go to my Discord and post that in the chat channel, because basically we discussed there some stuff like this, okay? Adrian is asking something interesting, which is, how do you ensure that the action is used and not directly implementation in the controller? So I actually don't want to know how the controller is implemented, but that's a serious question. So you can use past architectural plugin to basically ensure that actions are always used on controllers. Okay, you can do that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I actually use past architectural plugin for those kind of things to ensure that actions are always used on my controllers and people do not change things. We can do an entire stream about that, but past architectural plugin is one of the most powerful things past has. You can literally just go to your task suite and have this past, architectural test, and you type stuff like arch, expect, created offer, to only be used or to only be implemented in. So you can do a lot of things that basically will ensure something like that will happen all the time. ACN is asking me if I go live every single day. Yes, I do. Every single day at 9 p.m. Ben James is saying, I missed it a lot, the beginning of the live stream, but this has become my favorite video content to look out for. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate your words. Sometimes I think, because I technically could do... Sometimes I think I'm stupid, because I could technically do like a video course and sell for a bunch of money and get like 50K in 1 month. But it's just, I just never did it. Probably I'm just stupid on this stuff, because on testing I do have a lot of knowledge and I could probably do it. But anyways, I guess I'm using it for increase the reach on my live streams. So I really hope you guys appreciate this. Govar is asking me why that list job test is under jobs directory, not controller. Do we have a job test? That should be offer test, by the way. Feature, jobs. Yeah, this should actually be offers, by the way. Apologize about that. So HTTP offers, and then store, whatever, okay? Dicky Dev is saying, you don't get our bad jokes if you sell a course. Undeniably, explaining stuff and literally have fun with you all while I'm explaining this stuff, it's more fun than just talking to a camera and, record a high quality video course. So undeniably, you're right, okay? Drippin Castle is saying, using your powers for good by sharing your knowledge with others. You are an awesome communicator. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And I also, I'm having fun knowing you, Drippin Castle. I always remember you now when I'm streaming. You come every single day, so I really appreciate that. All right, folks, one last thing I want to talk about. Form requests. So if we go to our offer controller, we now see the request being made. We see the action being used. One thing you always need to keep in mind is that I typically, this is a little bit controversial, but I typically keep the validation itself of the form request on the form request itself. So I don't do it on the action, because actions will be chained on top of each other. Sometimes it's complicated to validate this action. So what I do is I keep the logic regarding of validating the content on form request directly. So do we have something like request? We do, right? So I do something like create offer request. Okay, so this will be created at this level right here, and then I use this create offer request directly instead of my request itself. So basically, before calling my action, I'm always sure that the request contains the correct information. On Laravel, if you use form requests like this, the controller will never jump into this line right here if the information is not valid. And we are going to test that real quick. So I'm going to go to my create offer request. I'm going to ignore auth for now. And what I will do is just literally come here and provide some information like, the title needs to be required a string with a minimum. This is always something I battle for. Always make sure you type the minimum and the maximum. The last thing you want is having trying to insert a title that doesn't fit your database string, okay? Your database column. So always provide the minimum and the maximum. Title, description, minimum 3, maximum as well of, you know, a lot of stuff. Do we have text on the description? Let me just double check that. We probably do. So offer stable. Yeah, we do. So I'm going to start a lot of stuff here, and also the status needs to be required string. It needs to be within my, you know, my enum. So do I have an enum? I do. So I'm going to type enum, and the enum content will be offer status. Okay. And I think that's it. And one little thing you can do is now use this on the offer controller and effectively refer to the content of your information just like that. What else can we do now? We can actually test this stuff. So I'm going to go to my offer controller test, which should be this little buddy, call it store test. And I want to ensure it requires a title. Okay. Come on. Give me something. ChatGPT, come on. I don't even know how to code anymore without this stuff. My ChatGPT is broken and I'm screwed right now. So all right, so let's create a user. Create a user. What else do we need to do? Well, I think that's it. Yeah, we can act on this. This time forgetting a little bit the title, like that. And finally, I also want to do this. So each time you work with form requests, always make sure you bail. You know, I always do this. Like the bail validation rule, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when you have a problem with your form request, you want to make sure you give like the first thing wrong to the user, you know? So if the user doesn't provide like the field to begin with, you don't want to say the field is required, but it also needs to be a string, but also needs to be bigger than 3, but also needs to be at least blah, 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 blah. So you can just bail on the first one. That's always what I do, okay? Anyways, so we have the response, which doesn't have a title. So I do expect the response to have a status of 422, I believe. But also, I expect the session to have the errors. The one will be on the key, which will be title. And the title list should be something like, I don't know what it is. So I guess we are going to find out on the error of the test suite. Ba 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 boom. Key katapum katapum. Let's run the test suite. Vendor been passed. All right, it's failing because the message is field is required. This is the message that I didn't know. So let's just put that over there, run the test suite, and we have almost validation on this. Interesting. It's 3. Oh, yeah, it's 302. Okay, apologize. There we go, and now it's passing. We can have a test like this for every single, you know, for I guess every single description. Typically, I don't test massively my form validation rules because I feel like that's kind of the job of Laravel, but let's do it for now, just for the sake of it. So here I'm going to do about the description. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. This I don't even know how to type anymore without GitHub Copilot. Why my GitHub Copilot is down, by the way? By the way, I read somewhere that GitHub Copilot is now free. Do you guys know this? It's free apparently only for VS Code. So you guys might want to check that out. Especially with Laravel extension being out now. You know, it's kind of cool. Yes, sir. As of today, yeah. Martus is saying, I paid for GitHub Copilot this morning, and they announced it the free for VS Code 1 hour later. Dude, you are so unlucky, man. Oh my god, you are so unlucky. Oh, it was trial? Oh my god, thank god. Oh my god. Yeah, Zoli85, literally, VS Code now has GitHub Copilot for free. And I'm wondering if that's the reason why PHP Storm is broken, because it's not free anymore for PHP Storm. Because I had like a free license because I do open source. Yeah, I do open source and I get the free license, so. Yeah, by the way, so if you have you know, if you use VS Code, first of all, you need to use VS Code. If you use VS Code, you can literally, you know, cancel the GitHub Copilot subscription that you have. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, dudes, let's keep it like this for now, and, you know, let's just finish this. So description is required. Let's not provide a description. Bam, boom, bam, boom. Run the test suite is obviously passing. So what this allows me to do, by the way, is literally ensure that, you know, if I would call an action later on in the future, the request content will always be valid. Okay, so I always do this. And hopefully I'm having 100% code coverage, which I do. So I feel like you guys got, you know, the general overall feeling how I like to code my application in terms of unit tests. There's a lot of stuff that I like to do, like, you know, PHP stand to ensure that I have full type safety, type coverage to ensure I use types all over the place. But I mean, I guess that's another topic for another day. But I hope you guys appreciated today's live stream about testing. I had fun. And remind yourself that tomorrow we have an amazing guest from the PHP Foundation, PHP Internals team to talk a little bit about the things they do over there. Okay? But yeah, GitHub Copilot is now free for VS Code. I'm excited about that. Okay? So some of you requested that I pull this code. I will do. I will basically commit this stuff right now. So git add -p and git commit whip. And I'm going to push this to a repo, and I'm going to share the repo on my Discord channel. Okay. So if you want to see this stuff, you know, get access to this code I just wrote, just be mindful that this is being written on stream, will have mistakes. It's not exactly the way I like to test my applications or code my applications, but at least you will have access to the stream's code, and we'll publish the repo on Discord, okay? So the Discord channel, Jonas, already I've shared the link a little bit, and you can access the link of, you know, this little code. Jenga is asking if the video will be available. Yes, the video will be available on my YouTube channel and Twitch, I think. So you have access to all the VODs, not only this one, but the VODs from the past. Just by the way, if you guys truly love my content, do not hesitate on spreading the content with other people, resharing my videos, you know, retweeting my videos. That really motivates me to move forward and continue with this process of live streaming, you know, and also reach other people. You know, eventually my goal is not being with 10K on YouTube all the time. My goal is like going forward, potentially, you know, within 6 months be with 50K on YouTube or something like that, you know, and just keep going and potentially try to become big on this kind of deals. That's kind of my goal. Rodrigo is saying, do you have inertia testing code examples? Well, not on today's lesson, but maybe in the future, okay? Big Tom is saying, Nuno, I really enjoy your streams. My girlfriend is not happy that I'm watching you most evenings. You know, you can come one day and the other day you are watching a movie with your wife. So, you know, you can always go be next to her after the stream, you know. All right, dudes, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming every day. I feel like some of the community here is already coming every single day, and I really appreciate that. Tomorrow we have the PHP Foundation crew here, so I think it will be a very cool... you know, a very cool stream. So Adrian is saying, go to your, you know, your iPhone and makes animation. I don't think it's the iPhone, dude, because I'm literally, the iPhone is right here. You know, I'm not using it for the stream. Double thumbs to the cam of the iPhone? What do you mean? I'm gonna try, okay? It's not working, you see? You're just making fun of me, dude. Come on, man. You're hilarious, man. All right, let's find someone to raid, dude. Oh, to the stream cam? Okay. You see, it doesn't work, man. Doesn't work. I don't know what was the balloons, man. It was just weird. Thank you, Jonas, for coming, man. That was awesome. Awesome stream, man. I love the content today. Wow, we are with the I mean, now that I'm streaming as well on X, it's just so complicated to understand how many people are viewing me. Last stream we went, you know, we have like 150 concurrent viewers across YouTube and Twitch, which is pretty cool. Today I have no idea because now I'm streaming on X. In X, actually, just tell me the people that went to the stream. It doesn't tell me like the concurrent people on the stream, which is so annoying. Rafael is saying great stream. Thank you for coming, dude. Really appreciate those words. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mora is saying that the balloons were from the channel goals. Very likely, man. Very likely. All right, let's find someone to raid, man. Raiding is important. Support other channels, you know. Make someone happy, because sometimes they don't have a lot of people watching, and you can literally make someone happy by raiding someone and make that people with, 50 people like out of nowhere. I think it's a fun thing to watch. So let's raid someone. So let's try to find someone. Do you guys have any suggestions today? Let me know. Oh, we have Theo. I don't think we have rated Theo yet. Or we did. I don't even know. But I don't think we have rated Theo yet. And we actually reacted with one of the Theo's, his live stream. So I'm going to rate Theo, I think. Theo is a great YouTuber as well, you know. He's super opinionated on stuff. But he's also a very nice guy. Right, stream manager. I'm going to go to... raids, and let's raid Theo. By the way, do not hesitate on putting my emoji on the raid, once we raid it, or just put PHP crew is here, or Laravel crew. I think people really like to see that. Dudes, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I see you all tomorrow, okay? That being said, let's start the raid, and see you all tomorrow. Peace out.